What's happening, guys? This is TheLonewolftech coming back to you with another Tekkit project, and today's a pretty exciting day because we get to set up our nuclear reactor. If you watched last episode, we went through the tedious process of building it, and now we are going to do the preliminaries on setting it up. Now, the idea I took for the nuclear reactor, there's a link in the description to the person who made it and their video. Please go watch it because I stole their idea. I completely stole it. Yes, I did, because it's a really good idea and it's very self-sufficient and sophisticated. Now, I have a few changes to their idea, which I might implement if they work to make it 100% self-sufficient. But we're not going to get into that right now. What we're going to do is basically go set it up. Now, I've gathered most of the materials we need to set it up and kind of started on it a little bit because we had to wait for something to make. But this nuclear reactor, the first time I saw it, I'm not 100% sure it was going to work, because it's a little bit iffy how I've seen other people make it, and it uses some weird materials. So what I'll do is, after we get it set up, I will run a backup on my Tekkit world. But if you're running a Tekkit server, this thing I haven't mentioned but I needed to, if you're running a Tekkit server, make sure you run backups quite often, because if someone was to log on to your server and blow up everything, then you're screwed. Now, if you're running backups, you can just go to your last backup, and there's a few good utilities out there for backing up. Just go out and find the one you like. Make sure you run backups. That being said, I'll show you what we've gotten. So right here, disregard this one, it's making uranium right now very slowly, and we'll have to fix that problem later. Right here, we have a crap ton of ice. Now, this is going to be our coolant. I know most of you are thinking ice, that's not going to work, which is the exact same thing I'm thinking. But in the video, this is how they did it, and it seems to work. They had the same thing posted on the Tekkit wiki, so So out of that, these are just two Mark II relays, which you can do it with Mark I's easily. Out of that, we have a filter taking out ice, and a simple timer. We know how this works if you watch my sorting facility video and a lot of the other videos. So then we're going to have some pneumatic tubing running down here and going into the top of our reactor, which we are going to set up. Now, I was wrong in the video before. We actually need 6 reactor chambers and 1 reactor. For some reason, I was being stupid and I only thought we needed 5. That's not much of a big deal because we have the extra materials. So we are going to need to place a block right down here. There. Yep. Put our chamber down, our actual reactor. Now, that would be considered a Mark I, I believe. And we're going to go ahead and upgrade to the Mark whatever, the highest one, because we're going to put all of our chambers on. So you just got to, shift click around it, and it will place them all down. Ta-da! So that's what it's going to look like. Now, when we do get this finished in, I'll probably go back with some reinforced stone and box it all off when we get all the systems we want running to run. So, first off, what we want to do is grab a few stacks of ice, which we're not going to be able to get enough, and then we want to line it down here, just like this. Some more, like you need like 7. Yeah, we want it just like that, and the rest of this ice we'll throw in here. So we want our ice like that, and if we were to take out some ice, hopefully we would send some ice through. Maybe not. Ice. See, I might have this backwards. Yep, here we go. Oh, hello, Enderman. You're not supposed to be down here. Get your ass out of here. That's right, run away. This is a nuclear facility. So it's going to take out one by one, which we want like 64 at a time out. So what we'll do is grab a stack of 64 and trade that out. So it sends whole stacks instead of just one. Because if we were to send just one, it would take forever to fill up, as you can tell. See, it would just send a stack down and, oh, it's filling up the whole thing. Alright, we want that to stop. We don't want the whole thing to fill up. So that's one problem I thought we would have, is it would try to fill up the whole thing, which we don't want that to happen. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Now, it won't automatically do this. If you have, once you have the uranium in, it won't fill up those spaces, which is a good thing. So what we are going to do is get rid of all this ice. Alright. And then we are going to get rid of all this stuff. Keep that. We can place our project table. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. We are going to need to carry a lot of stuff on our way back, so we're basically going, actually there's one other thing I had to set up. We're going to need that. Going to need that, and what else did we need? We needed our thermal monitor, not thermometer. And actually, let me check something real quick. Yep, okay. That's how it's gonna work. Alright, so we need a block too. So what we're gonna do is, to make this reactor safe, is we're going to put a thermal monitor down here. And we got to shift click, and we want it on 500. And then once it goes on to 500, it will send a redstone signal down here, which would turn it off. And then we are going to need a lever, which I don't have any stone, but we can easily jump up here and get some. Now I will probably cap this all off with something prettier looking. So we got our sticks, put it down our project table, get some levers, and then we'll put a lever right there. So that's on, off, I think. Let's look at the picture he had. Looks about right. Alright, so that should turn the reactor on, off, and then this would turn it off as well. So what we need to do now is go get a lot of uranium. And I put up my coal, didn't I? Stupid me. So, to get uranium, what we're going to need to power the nuclear reactors are uranium cells, I believe. Which we are going to make that that whole process automated. But for the time being, we're going to have to do it single-handedly. So, to make uranium cells, we are going to need an empty cell, which we have a crap ton of, and refined uranium. So we get that from compressing uranium ore. So we should have a lot of that in valuables, wherever valuables is. Somewhere. There we go. So we can condense a lot more, but we'll put a stack in there for now, because it's going to take a long time to compress. And you might have saw in my inventory before, I have a singularity compressor, or what I think that's what it's called. But there is we don't have the power for it right now, and there's no, I want to use it down in the facility, the nuclear facility. So we'll get to that. But yeah, guys, let me get all this stuff compressed up, and I'll get back to you. I believe we have most of the materials we are going to need. I got our refined uranium, I think that's, yep, refined uranium, and some empty cells. And I've made a few other things, but that's not to worry right now. So we just do that to make our uranium cells. And yeah, that takes up a lot of space. So we actually need to take this with us, so we'll leave the diamonds and the pipes, or we'll leave the advanced circuits. And let's see if there's any more refined uranium that's come in, so we can take that along with us in case we need to make more. And there has been. That's gonna keep going away. And I'm gonna walk off these stairs for some reason. The stairs kind of are hard to walk up. But what we're going to do before my backup starts again is try to get this reactor going and see what happens. And we're gonna fall all the way down here, and nothing really has changed down here. Now this should be off, I think. We'll find out in a second. But what we want to do is take our high voltage cable and take it off here. We're gonna have to place a block, I believe. Actually, let's throw some of the stuff that we don't need in here. Actually, we're gonna need the world anchors, but that could wait. And let's grab some blocks. Some wood would do. And we'll do this. And this. Alright. And then we are going to put a MSFU, which this is the highest one. The reason I got it is just so we can see how much power we're making. So as you can see, that's gonna make a shit ton of power. And eventually we're gonna, if these systems are as compact as I think, we're gonna have a bunch of them lined up down here, because with that we can just run, you know, get our uranium here, put it in, and then make refined uranium cells, and then just pipe them into all the reactors when it's needed, and it would be a pretty cool setup. So that's going to work, hopefully. And I want to check one thing, and I believe our lever needs to be down for it to be off, because if it's receiving a redstone signal, it should be off. Now, okay, if that's not depleting, we're good. So this reactor calls for every single spot that's not ice to be filled with uranium cells, which is crazy. I'm same as you, I'm not seeing how this is gonna work, but we're about to find out if it will. So we're gonna need a lot more. I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough. We don't have to test it with all of them just yet. I will, so y'all can see it, but just to see if this is gonna blow up in our face. Oh, we're one off. Come on. Do we not really have one more? Alright, well, if it's just one off, it's not that big of a deal. So what I'm about to do is I'll stop the video. Actually, we're gonna need one more cell, because if we don't, it's going to send ice in that spot, and that's not what the setup calls for. So we'll go grab one more, and then we'll see what happens then. Now, one other thing I would like to do is enclose this whole system, if it works, and enclose it with reinforced stone, like I said before, and then I would like to flood it with water, which if you put water on top of your nuclear reactor, supposedly it will run cooler. And if that's all, you know, dandy and stuff, but the only worry I have is putting water in there. Would it break all that equipment like it does with redstone and stuff? I don't think it breaks wire. I think it just pushes wire, will just push the water away, but we'll see. So I'll grab this, run a backup, and I'll get back to our last uranium cell and some other stuff we needed, and went ahead and ran a backup on our server, or to our server. No, backup of our server. That would be the correct terminology. And some things I forgot. That's a 4 times high voltage cable that you'll need to come out of the reactor. It has to be that. And then you'll have a high voltage transformer. If you don't have that, shit's gonna blow up. And then you're gonna have a cable coming out of that into your MSFU or whatever you're using. And if you're using anything lower than that, you're gonna need more transformers. So let's get a countdown. 3, 2, 1, power. I heard something. What's happening? Okay, we got ice coming. Uranium cells depleting. Do we have power? We have power. Oh my god, that's a lot of power. That is a lot of power. Good god. We're rich. We are rich. And the ice is coming. And we're not losing any ice. We'll probably never lose ice. So yeah, guys, this is a basic setup. What's gonna happen is this thermometer is when this temperature gets to 500, it's gonna turn off the reactor so it won't blow up, and then it's just gonna power stuff. And eventually we'll have these set up and encased and maybe flooded with water, and then we'll have high voltage cable running all through the back and then up. Now I'm not gonna store all of our power down here, because let's say this did blow up, well then we just lost however many MFSUs we had fully charged. So what we'll do is we'll run it all the way up to our nuclear facility, which we are going to eventually build at the top, and then store all of our energy up there, and then send energy from there wherever we need it. So if this area was to blow up, we wouldn't lose all of the power we had gained. So that's going to fill itself up. One other thing I wanted to try is eventually what's going to happen is these uranium cells are going to deplete, and it won't be drawing any more power. So what I want to do is set up a system where we have a retriever, retrieve the used up uranium cells, put them in a chest, and then have another system like this where we're creating a uranium, and then we send that into our compressor, our singularity compressor, and then we make that into refined uranium, and then we have an automatic crafting table with some with a whole lot of empty cells, and then we make that into uranium cells, and then we can pipe that into the reactors. Now the only problem is when we pipe out of here, what's going to happen is the ice is going to want to fill up that spot, and the uranium will not be able to fill up that spot. So that issue is going to be a little bit more complicated, but I'll think of something, because I would love to be able to just refill this place with uranium and cells. Or actually the uranium, what we'll do is, like we had set up upstairs, that humongous whatever it was, humongous power flower that we had upstairs on our sorting facility. We'll have that like set up over here, then have all the machines, and then we'll pump out all the stuff to the reactors, and this would be our main ice and this would just pump ice everywhere that it needed to go. And it seems like the ice doesn't get too low, so that's good. So we can actually, since these systems actually work, we can have quite a few of these, probably like 7 to 8 going around the whole facility, because they do not take up much space. And then I'll just wall them off with some some refined or some reinforced stone, and it'll be pretty secure. See how much power we've got. So we've pretty much filled up an MFSU in the time it's taken me to blab about, so that's pretty neat. I might shut this off for a while. Actually, I'll probably leave it going and let it deplete, so we have some depleted uranium cells, which we can set the next part of the project up. But that's going to come in another episode, guys, because this one took a long time. So if you like this video and you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. This is a pretty neat way to do a nuclear reactor. And so yeah, thanks.